bosses are fun. Nothing quite captures the intensity of a climactic boss fight than raid bosses, where people work together to take down a gigantic enemy. These team versus giant fights always get my blood pumping, and the gamer in me just gets a surge of adrenaline. It's then appropriate that for today's list I'll be doing a rundown of some of my favorite team versus gigantic enemy fights in anime. So, what fights are you expecting to see? Make sure to tell me in the comments section below. But why restrict overcoming those insurmountable challenges to your favorite anime characters? You can take those challenges yourself by downloading today's sponsor, Lord of Heroes. Lord of Heroes is the hit mobile RPG that puts you in the role of a monarch set to revolutionize the world. First off, let me just say that there's no doubt that anime fans like you would find comfort in designs like those. I mean, I certainly did, and it was those that got me to try the game out, only for me to get more than what I bargained for. For March's update, Lord of Heroes introduces the new story event War of the Tyrants. Here, players get to go back in time, take part in the titular War of the Tyrants, and take part in the events that help shape the present, unraveling secrets as they go. Joining the fray would be the elven archmage Lucilica, now in her all-new Dark Element form. A constantly evolving story, characters that look all sorts of cool, and a very immersive battle system make Lord of Heroes a must-play if you're in any way interested in this kind of genre. And I know you are, since you're all here, so I suggest heading down to the description box, downloading the game, and giving Lord of Heroes a try. Let's start with Attack on Titan, shall we? Attack on Titan, being a show that features a lot of, well, Titan fights, has no shortage of raid battles against monsters that tower over man. There are so many candidates here, so I'd like to turn our attention to an underrated scene from the first season, the final Annie fight. Back when everything was simpler. The time when AOT had yet to show its full repertoire in storytelling beats, and we're all drawn to the tension-filled survival battles against Titans. The Annie fight sets itself apart from the other fights in this list, and instead of people fighting against a gigantic foe, we have Eren giving the good guys some much-needed firepower. He goes toe-to-toe with Annie while the Survey Corps all work together to help subdue Annie once and for all. With how much more AOT has proven itself to be, it's easy to overlook this moment in the modern days, but back then, this was an epic finale for the smash hit that is Attack on Titan. We can't leave Fate out of this now, can we? Here's Gorgon. You know, I'm really tempted to put the Tiamat fight here, but I figured that I talked about that fight enough and wanted to give the spotlight to the other giant boss fight in the series, Gorgon. The notable part about this fight is how it happens early to show us an idea of the villain's power. At that point, we're led to believe that Gorgon is the Tiamat we've been hearing about, and her power certainly hints at that. Leonidas and Ushi Wakamaru both tried their best, but even with their best shot, they're just no match. Hey, at least they made an epic show out of it though, right? Little did we know that things were about to get worse, especially when the real Tiamat shows up. We haven't seen anything yet. Princess Connect makes its explosive debut in these fight lists. Princess Connect, as I've often described it, is wholesome Konosuba. It's very chill, less degenerate, and is basically about a group of friends having easygoing adventures together. That is, until stuff starts getting real towards the end of Season 1 and parts of Season 2. We start uncovering a conspiracy and learning the truth about the world and Yuki's memories. Oh, and the fight scenes for Season 2 have been turned up a notch, and this fight is a prime example of that. The shadows give the characters a chance to show off what they've got, and the Golem leading them serves as the big, unbeatable obstacle that pushes them in a race against time. The whole thing looks very well done and could have caught people off guard, not too different from the Kobayashi's Dragon Maid fight if you remember that. All that finishing off with one of the most breathtaking animation sequences of Pekarine's finishing blow. It certainly looks UFO table-esque the way the scene was done. Here's something you probably haven't predicted to see. Legend of the Millennium Dragon's final fight, I believe, deserves its spot on the list. What is Legend of the Millennium Dragon, you ask? Well, it's a 2011 film that feels like one of the few precursors to the time travel isekai subgenre before it was cool. Boy travels back in time and takes part in a war between factions. It's got the traditional Japanese aesthetic, the samurai and the demons, and a whole lot of mysticism. It's also got some twists that I won't call completely unpredictable, but hey, it's there. Overall, I feel that the highlight of the movie is the final battle. Going into more details would be a spoiler, but let's say that it's a culmination on par with what you'd expect out of this movie. Everyone throwing what they have at the villain, the daunting atmosphere of the whole thing, and the finish brought about by some help from the heavens. If you've got an hour and a half to burn and you're into time travel fantasy isekai, then you should definitely try watching this movie. Speaking of fantasy, why don't we check out this DanMachi moment. Fantasy with some game mechanics, a gigantic boss fight feels completely at home here. The Goliath fight in DanMachi is one of my favourite moments in the show, and it has a lot to do with the whole build-up. For comparison's sakes, whereas the SAO moment a while ago dazzled us with cool visuals and callbacks to eras that we loved, this one makes full use of the atmosphere, the tension. It's really so hyped seeing Ryu and Bell fight together, and the fight has no shortage of drama. Pick a best moment, seriously. Is it the finishing move or the number of tough sacrifices done in this battle? However, if there's anything to take away from the fight, it's the explanation for the sword. It's got some people questioning it, but that's just the thing with LN adaptations. Still, even as an anime first, I really enjoyed this battle. Next, we go on to a slightly different take of our ancient historical kingdoms in Magi. Magi's as a series is for me one of the best shonen in the 2010s. Not even a biased take, and I feel that it's grossly underrated considering how it masterfully combines adventure, action, politics, and a whole lot of cool character designs. It's fitting that we had one big raid boss fight to cap off its anime run. What I like about this fight is that it really gives off the aura of finality. We know it's not the final battle, but with how over the top everything is, it provides a perfect payoff to this anime. We had almost all named characters flowing in, getting their moments to show off, yet ultimately falling to off the medium. It's one dynamic entry after another, culminating with Sinbad and the entire Seven Seas Alliance coming to the rescue. It's a fun ride that spanned a couple of episodes, and it just drives the magnitude of the battle home. Next is Oars versus Straw Hats. When it comes to One Piece fights, we often talk about those big one-on-one fights. However, in a world where pretty much anything's possible, it's no surprise that the Straw Hats would run themselves into giant threats. Kaido is one, but I want to talk about the Oars fight. It's a multi-part battle wherein the Straw Hats take their fair share of L's thanks to the immense power of Oars. Luffy soon joins the fight, and even then they find themselves in such a pickle. It took everything from the Straw Hats to finally beat them, and it felt like such an earned victory. With him no-selling everything episode after episode, him falling after that final giant bazooka gave me the thrill of seeing a raid boss finally fall in the video games I played. Next, we have SAO's final fight in Ordinal scale. It's no secret that I really like SAO now. With this anime officially turning a decade old in a short while, a lot has been said about the franchise. A rather uncommon opinion that I hold, however, is that Ordinal Scale is somewhere up there as one of the best SAO anime that we've got. It's got everything you'd want from a movie. It builds on the acclaimed first part of Season 1, gives us a movie that's generally self-contained and well-paced, and of course, finish off with what I feel is the best boss fight the franchise had. You're talking the real last boss of Aincrad here, a monstrosity that not even Kirito and friends could beat on their own at first. Then everyone from every game they played came in, and it was a real raid for the ages. Most of the characters get their highlight shots in, and the Kirito Asuna finish was just perfect. Even if you've tuned out of SAO, I still encourage you to watch this film. It recaptures the magic and condenses everything in a nice movie with a mix of everything: drama, action, romance, and some fan service. That's got to do it for this list. If you have some giant fights that I've missed, then don't hesitate to tell me in the comments. Actually, you know what? Why stop with just commenting? I know comments are good for the algorithm, and I appreciate that, but I'd also invite you to come and join us and hop onto our social media, whether it be the ViniiTube Discord channel, Instagram, or Patreon. Don't forget to check out our sponsors of this video, Lord of Heroes. The link's in the description. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Stay safe, stay strong, and stay awesome.